Happy New Year, everyone. It's Spirit Sessions, and this is season 6. Season 6, can you believe it? And we're here with our very special people in our lives. Bex can't make it today. She's working. But Teresa's with us, the creator and the visionary of Spirit Sessions, and she's going to take all that sage and clear the whole year for us all up ahead.
Yeah, let's wash it out.
Wash out 22 and bring in 23. And we're here with a very special guest and friend, Laura Mazzotta, and she's going to help us hold our intentions. Every New Year's, people all around the world decide that they're going to make resolutions and make promises to themselves and to their communities and how they're going to improve themselves and how they're going to improve their lives for themselves. And Laura's going to help us grab those intentions and teach us how to hold on to them and kind of make them so, as Captain Picard would say on Star Trek. So, Teresa, I'm going to just have you come in and say hello to everyone and bring your blessings in. And then we're going to have you maybe talk to how you know Laura, because you've known her longer than I have.
Really? Okay. Well, who I really believe I met Laura through was Marla. I always remember Marla talking about her good friend. And then finally you started showing up, and then finally I put the two together. So it was still through the Akashic Academy.
Yeah.
But it was still through Marla. Because did you guys work together or something?
No, we've been really good friends for like 20 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. How cool is that?
I know.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I keep hoping you come out to visit her soon and come over and see
it's going to happen. It'll happen at some point. Yeah.
I love that. There's beautiful energies right now, of course, as we're washing out last year and embracing the new year. But there was like, Bex had that post about the Cerulean energy coming in, because there was like this cosmic alignment with that. Ooh, yeah. And I get chills. I feel so close to the Ceruleans and everything. And so I'm feeling all that exciting energy. But the next thing is we're in Capricorn season, and I'm a double Capricorn. And so it's like, okay, show me what it is, let's experience this. I've also heard that we're starting the year with dragon energy and we're ending the year with dragon energy. And that's like, whoo, whoo, whoo. I'm excited. And then there was stuff about the numbers of the years. And me, I'll be turning 58. And then whatever those numbers added up, it's like, man, it's going to be an amazing year this year. And I'm pretty excited. How about you all?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a 7-year, and I'm a 7 life path.
Yeah.
Year. I don't know.
Me too. Yeah.
Are you as well?
I'm a 7.
That's pretty cool. I don't know. I haven't heard what that all means, but it means something.
It's a spiritual path for sure.
It's a spiritual path. That's awesome. So we were excited to have Laura on because she kept coming up in my field and in my feed, in my Facebook feed, which doesn't always happen. But when I get that kind of hit, I know that we have to have that person in. And so often I will reach out to them. I don't know if that happens with you, Teresa, too, but let's bring in Laura. Can you give us a little of your background and what's going on and how you've grown your business so great so far?
I know. It's so beautiful, right? I've been a therapist in New York for 20 years. And when I got sepsis about 6.5 years ago, I was really called to and drawn toward the energetic path because I was only healing to a certain degree. And I've always been very, very spiritual, but it was more structured, organized religion, and I hadn't really, I kind of identified like I was moving over to Buddhism a little bit, but I was still kind of navigating it and trying to figure it out. And so when I experienced Reiki and the emotion code, and it was wild because I didn't understand any of it yet. I didn't really have the language for it or the understanding, but the results were mind blowing and they spoke for themselves. And my husband and I would say, like, we have no idea what the hell this is, but I'm just going to keep doing it because it's like amazing, and then it just, it got to the point where when I was in sessions with clients, I just didn't believe in the traditional mental health approaches anymore. Like everything that was coming out of my mouth was spiritual. Yeah. And I was like, this just it didn't feel responsible for me to kind of continue to show up And it felt like I was being inauthentic because I just didn't believe in it anymore. And so that's when I closed my practice at the end of 2020. And I had already been integrating the energetic and spiritual work into my practice for a good year at least. But then it was just like, no, this is what I'm called to do. I'm not going to ignore it anymore. Right. This is what Spirit's calling me to. And so I dove into the Akashic records even deeper and really just decided that this is what the world needs. And I want to be a voice for that. I'm meant to be a voice for that. And what's wild was that this holistic mental health project came up last year it was actually the year before that the idea came to me to advocate for holistic mental health. And it's so funny because when it first came forward, I was like, no, I don't want to have anything to do with mental health. I'm like so sick of it. I don't want to talk about it. Like, I'm done with mental health. Like, I'm done. Right. And then it just kept coming forward from Spirit. And I had this hit to contact the publisher that I'd already published some chapters and collaborations for. And she was just like, oh my gosh, so many people have come to me about holistic mental health and nobody's followed through. And we so need it so badly. You'd be the perfect person for it. And so this was really the first project that I did that I didn't want to do, but that was really led entirely by Spirit. And I'll tell you, it was the most beautiful experience ever. It was so beautiful because like the group of people, even the publisher said, she's like, this is the most gorgeous group of humans. Like, I mean, I just so fortunate, the people that I drew in, and I'm doing volume 2 this year. And I'm like,
oh, yay.
I just know it's what I'm meant to be doing, even though it wasn't something I wanted egoically. Right. And so it's really beautiful because now I have this like 2-pronged thing going on where it's like, I have the holistic mental health piece that I feel really, really aligned with. And then I have the continued deepening of intuition and spirituality and just continuing to surrender and guiding people into that, because I truly feel that the spiritual is the foundation of holistic mental health. And so they go together beautifully, but it's not just holistic mental health. Oh, it's natural. And we're looking at all facets of somebody and all of that. But it's also that it's undeniable that your spiritual piece has to be a solid foundation for the rest of the areas to be able to grow. That's kind of how it's all kind of come together. It's beautiful.
It kind of is logical, but I guess when we get into this modern state of take a pill, it'll cure anything. And it doesn't cure things. It just masks symptoms that we forget that we have to go to the root. And
I know.
It's
funny.
I come from the other side of this. I've been going to mental health all my life since my 20s, at least. You know what I mean? After the first baby, I had to really get some help and stuff. So I've been on the other end of this, and I've been in the groups that you're like forced to go to these groups once a week. I mean, if you want to get your SSI and you want to, get your meds, I'm forced into these situations like, dude, I'm so much better at home, kind of like you were talking earlier, without the stress of everything. And then at the end, what it really was all about is we can give you the pill to boost your mood and to level you out, but we can't do nothing about your personality. And I sat there and was like, what does that mean? And so, it means a lot. So that's why we bring in our spiritual, right?
Yeah, because we're all like, that's the thing that baffles me. Like, we're all so different. Our bodies are so different. The way we operate, even if you find that person that's like your soulmate that you're just like, you're still different, like we're all so different. There is not one formula that's going to fit for everyone ever.
Yeah. And arguing about it, like, here's a pill and this is what you need to do. I mean, there are certain things that are just going to make everyone feel better, like eating properly, going outside, doing certain things are going to make everybody feel better. And I can't think of anybody who wouldn't feel better by eating better and going outside. But other things, like, we can't say because we all come from a different root cause of whatever's going on in our brain. Like, I often say, like, a lot of people will see an accident and it'll just go over their heads, and other people will be traumatized for the rest of their life from it, and they'll have, PSD or PTSD. Yeah, I'm terrible with those.
No, but it's like we can have the same exact experience, and some people are like, whatever, moving on, and some people it'll completely debilitate them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can think of, different, like, different scenarios that happen to a lot of people. Either that or they are able to compartmentalize them and just kind of lock them away like you would quarantine a virus in your body.
Right.
And I think that happens. And as long as we're well, it's the quarantine of that, whatever, that trauma experience stays intact until like we get wore down enough that it all of a sudden will pop up in our lives 10, 20 years later. Well, that happened to you 20 years ago. Why is it bothering you now?
Yeah.
It was just sitting there waiting to bother me.
Yes, it was gestating.
Well, thanks for these chances that we get to clear it. You know, all the new moons and the eclipses and things. It's like, yeah, bring it up, or you know, let's do this, right?
Absolutely. I just drew a card. Can I share my card?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just drew a card for just whoever's watching this on the replay or live, just as an intention for the year. And it's gorgeous that this card came forward. I love this deck so much. It's from You Are Loved Goods, which is on Etsy, and they're just beautiful, beautiful humans. I love them. And the card that came forward is forgiveness. It's okay to start over and over again as needed. Forgiveness is the morning light. And I love this so much because I say all the time, I truly believe that you cannot fully heal without forgiveness. I truly believe you cannot. And it's interesting because I have this program that's actually starting tomorrow. It's just a $27 program on Telegram where I'm doing morning and nighttime rituals. And forgiveness is going to be a really big piece of that because it came through to me with all the health stuff that I've gone through recently. You know, I came through to me from spirit like a few weeks ago, this concept of that you get to release and start again every single day. You don't have to wait for a moon. This is why this came up, because you were just talking about the moons.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to wait for the moons. You don't have to wait for the Lion's Gate. You don't have to wait for, you know, certain spiritual events or times. You get to go through kind of like a death and rebirth cycle every single day and renew yourself every single day. And I'm so excited. Honestly, I'm looking forward to it for myself. And so forgiveness is going to be a really big piece of that. Like that has to be there every day. We need to forgive ourselves because we're human beings. You know, we're human beings. We're going to have things that come up, whether they're old thoughts, whether they're new things that happen that we're meant to release. And it's really beautiful, I think, to consider that concept of refreshing and renewing yourself every morning and then releasing every night.
Right on.
That sounds really good. And releasing at night before you go to bed and have your little death or your little whatever, what happens in sleep, since we still don't really totally 100% understand it, you know, and then we wake up and it's a new day. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really beautiful because it's really this concept of like, what parts of me do I not want to carry forward into the next day? You know, what are the parts that I don't wish to take with me to that next step towards my highest self?
Oh yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Good God.
Really beautiful.
I'm just sharing out a little bit more. And if you guys are watching from wherever, just put in the comments and let us know you're watching. I know it's New Year's Day, and a lot of people are kind of just either they aren't used to staying up till 12 a.m., which is most people. I mean, I'm not sure. My sisters were all teasing me, so I was saying Happy New Year at 9 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
Are you going to bed? Yes, ma'am, I am.
That's what I did too.
There's no way I can stay up till 12 a.m. I may be up at 12 a.m., but it won't be because I've been up all night.
Right. Yeah, I agree. That's funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, there's a lot of us, I guess, yeah. When we were little, can we stay up till midnight? No, I want to go to bed. It's 9 o'clock.
I know. Last night, my son was like, can I please? My husband's like, just go to bed.
You'll only be grumpy tomorrow, really, honestly. You will be. So, yeah, even as it was, still grumpy. Got to sleep until 7 a.m. Big sleep in this place. But, no, it's amazing. When you talk about holistic mental health, are you talking about, like, what things does your book stress? Like, what do you think are the top 3 things?
Yeah, I'd say the top 3 things. One are obviously that relationship with your higher self or with God. I personally believe God is the best route because God's the creator of everything, even our higher selves. So, and also breath work is big for sure. And what I'd have to say is with some of the other practices, which are focused on like journaling, self-love, things like that, I really think that it's just about opening up space for yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like just freaking space, because then you can do whatever the hell you want with that space. Like for me, if I open up space, I used to have like structured things I would do. Like I'd pull a card and then I'd journal and then I'd play my gong and, all the stuff. But now it's just all I do is open space and I just sit there quietly by myself. And then I just let myself go wherever I go. So like the other day I did this and I ended up just moving my body. Like my body just wanted to move. So I went into certain yoga poses. And then I was just moving and I moved my body in ways that I've never moved my body before. Like I was like, oh, what's that? And I just let my body lead me. And then I listened to a little music and then I was like, all right, I'm good. And that's all so I think that what's really important is to open up that space, but also to expand your intuition, because when you expand your intuition or you understand your energy really intimately, you then trust what guidance is coming forward. And you're more in tune with it. So you can get messages of what you're meant to do with that space with more clarity and more ease. And so that's why I think that developing your intuition it's going to help you with anything, whether you're talking about physical health or mental health, And when I work with people with holistic mental health, we talk about all the layers: physical, emotional, mental, energetic, and spiritual. All 5 of them are part of it, but spiritual is the cornerstone.
Yeah, because without that, I always following. It's like it's your safety net, right?
Yeah,
you just fall back on it anytime you need to, or it's just like such an integral part.
Well, yeah, and the fact is, everything's energy. We talk about all the layers, and it's like, okay, physical is energy, mental is energy, emotional is energy is energy, and so it's like, the spiritual informs the energy and encodes the energy with where your soul is meant to go. And so the energy then just takes form. It'll take form in the body. It'll take form in the thoughts. It'll take form in emotions. But really, the spiritual is what's informing all of it. So that's why that's so important, is because that's what's truly encoding it. So you need to understand that. You need to get intimately connected with that, because otherwise you're going to be really freaking confused about where you're going, or like all this crap that's happening in your life,
But it's true.
And then we create stories about it, because then we're like,
right,
oh my gosh, this is happening because of what, or I'm feeling this way because of what. And we try to make sense of it, and that's human nature, right? We're trying to make sense of it. We're trying to analyze it. And so it takes practice to be like, okay, there's no story around this. Like one of the things that I've been talking about a lot lately is this concept of the fact that, emotions are just energy, and they're meant to move through you. I mean, the average person has 21 mood changes a day, just on the average. And so they're meant to go up and down. They're just energy moving. Stop attaching stories to it and trust yourself, right? And trust the energy. As much as it's going to go up, it's going to go back down. And then guess what?
That's for sure. Yeah.
It's going to go back down. So it's trusting the process, trusting yourself, trusting the universe, trusting that energy is always moving. So it's going to continue to move unless we grip onto it and say, no, but this means that I'm a bad person, and therefore I need to do X, Y, and Z, right? And it's like, no, it doesn't mean anything. It's just energy. Let it move.
Yeah.
Now, if it sticks around and it's chronic and it's not going away, it's at that point that you turn toward it and you say, hey, dude, like, what you doing here in my field? What is it you have to tell me about? Like, what's your purpose here? Because it seems like there's a deeper message for me to understand.
Oh, for sure. I love that.
And you also have to decide, too, whether it's your energy or you're feeling somebody else.
100%.
So, and I guess you have to actually kind of tap into it and say, is that mine, or do I just let it flow through because it's somebody else's?
And if it's somebody else's, it will pass through. But if it gets stuck, that still means that there's work for you to do, because this is either ancestral energy that you're meant to clear, or past life energy that you're meant to clear, or it hits so close to home in terms of a belief system that you're meant to shift or something, that you're meant to sit with it a little longer. So it's,
like
if it's chronic, even if it's somebody else's, if it's sticking with you, that means it's meant, there's something in it that's meant for you.
Yep, I agree.
And just by recognizing that it's there, like that already helps clear it, right?
100%.
because it keeps knocking at the door until you open it and say, "Yay, go away," or "Come on in and let's figure this out."
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people say, "I just want to be happy."
You got to define it, though, I think.
I mean, if you're up here all the time and you're never down here, I don't know. If it's a flat line, it's a flat line. It doesn't mean you're alive. So, right? How can you judge what you're happy if you're never kind of sad? Like, we came to this world, I always say, to have the contrasts, right?
Yes.
We came to this world to feel happiness and to feel sadness. Because when you're a spiritual being, you kind of are just kind of like just vibing high all the time. So I don't want to say it sounds kind of boring to me, but without the contrast, it sounds sometimes really good to just have that one kind of high mood. But I think without the contrast, we don't even have that tactile sense. We can't touch things. We can't feel things. We can't feel things emotionally or physically. So now that we're in this lovely little meat suit that we have created for ourselves, that we should really embrace all those emotions one way or another, and don't look at them as bad or good. Just like you said, just look at them as those are emotions.
Exactly. Well, and it's just so funny because like the other day I was in a funk because, my health hasn't been fabulous over the past couple months. And so I was in a funk and my husband was like, "Oh, what's going on? Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just going to go upstairs to my meditation room and I'm going to move my energy." And so I did. I came up here and I moved my energy and I came back down. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, you're like a completely different person." I was like, "Yeah, I just had to move the energy. I just had to move the energy." Because if I sit there and I talk to you about it, like then I'm gonna make it something that it might not be, because I'm looking for answers to try to figure out what it is. So I'd rather just say, "Peace, I'll be back shortly." I'm just gonna go like shake my booty or do whatever I need to do, and then I'm gonna come back. And if it's meant to be understood more deeply, then I will know, and then we will chat about it.
Yeah, and also dumping it on your partner, isn't always the best idea.
Mm-mm.
I mean, that just kind of
they're not always trained for it.
Gives it legs in this world, so another person has to carry it. So and that's not always wise either. Like it's nice to have a person to dump on as long as they have the space that day. But most of the time, it's just like you said, just let's move it somehow. Yeah, in whatever way you can.
Yeah, and it's funny because like so many people have reached out to me lately, and they're just like, I'm in awe of you because what you go through physically on occasion is like you always stay positive. You always see the silver lining. And I absolutely do, but that doesn't mean that I don't experience the low. You know what I mean? Like of course I experience the low. That's where the wisdom comes from, and like every single time I love myself more. And you know what I would say? It's not that I like add skills or things that I need to do or that I've been doing something wrong. And which is what I used to think. Like, what am I eating wrong? What am I doing wrong? Where am I not taking care of myself? It's not that. It's where am I being invited to deepen more into self-love? Because there's always room as human beings to deepen your self-love. I don't care if you are like the most enlightened human on the planet. There is infinite possibility and infinite access to energy and to love and to compassion. And so it's just, I get to continue to be humbled and invited into a deeper level of love and compassion for myself and for the people in my life.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes when things happen to us, it's like my operation lately. And I'm thinking like, okay, I've been taking care of myself for the last 25 years. Why the hell is this happening to me now? Like everybody goes, you're like the one of the most healthy people. And I'm going like, I'm really not. I'm a closet carbaholic. Stuff in the carbs, especially cookies. But and I thought, I don't know why, but hopefully I'll get over this. And one of the things I realized is I had to receive, and having to receive somebody else's, I'll get you a drink of water. No, it's okay. I can get it myself. Well, when I couldn't, or like, I'll go get you that. I'll go get you. Like, that was really hard. Like, okay, somebody's making my dinner. Like, really? Like, no, nobody makes my dinner.
Wow.
So I'm obsessed with the fact that you just said that, because literally 3 days before like the hard stuff happened with my body recently, I set the intention to receive in totality from my husband. I was like, it's not just that I want to receive from him.
Right.
I want him to be able to receive all of me, and I want to commit to being fully received, like to fully receive from him, right? Because there was something there that I was just like my inner adolescent was energetically a little bit resistant, right? To just receiving all of it. Like I receive a lot, but there was an extra layer there that I could feel into that I knew I was blocked a little. So I was like, I'm setting this intention because I know energy follows intention. Perfect conversation for what we're talking about today, right? So it's like I set this intention that I was going to receive fully and entirely from him. And then I had to call 911 like and so I was like, here we go, right? Like it's so funny how the universe answers our call. And it's not necessarily exactly what we want, but
no.
How beautiful is that, right? Because I'm the same way. Like I won't be feeling well, and I'm like, it's okay, I got it. I'm gonna do it, because I love to, and I like being active and doing things and engaging, and I like that feeling. It's a sovereignty feeling. We all love that, but that's what I'm meant for right now, is more surrender and receiving. And so I love that you said that, because that's exactly what it deepens for us. And it doesn't mean I wasn't receiving enough. I think that's what happens, is like we get into blame of ourselves around like, well, what was I missing and where was I going wrong? And instead it's like, no, you're just being invited to go even deeper because you are ready and get to experience more. Why? Because the universe loves you so much and it wants you to feel amazing.
And if you feel guilty about receiving, also remember that it is more blessed to give than receive. And if you're never receiving, you're never giving the other person the blessing of being able to give.
Yeah.
And
yes.
if you go, I'm a giver. Well, that's really nice, but nobody else gets to give around you. It's not very fun for them. So
I love that.
Something has to be, has to be
balance.
Exactly, Teresa, balance. And unfortunately, it took a lot this time to get balanced.
I hear you.
Time for that stretch. Yeah. No. So, I mean, even you guys, how much you took over the show and went on, because, and just went on. The girls just picked up the reins and went on, and they said,
it's not the same without you, though. I want you to know.
But you did just fine. And I don't know if you even know how smart and how wonderful and talented you are without, technically. Well, we're not that techie. Well, you're just as techie as I am, like really seriously. But just doing that on your own. So, they have it. They don't need me.
But they want you, Rhonda.
I know. And I want them. And I feel sad when we're not all three together, but I wish Bex was here today, but we had to let her go for her job today. So, but it's been 6 years of us being on here, and I think we've had you on this is the third time.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so. I'm trying to remember back. It's
been
hard.
I came on with Madeline one time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, that was fun.
That was really fun.
That was a lot of fun. Having her on, and I bet now we're podcasting, so if you guys didn't get this on the replay or you're out, you can listen to this on the podcast. But tell us a little bit more about your program and what's going on, and maybe if you have a little meditation or something you'd like to share beside the card. I don't care. I want
to share a couple things about intentions, honestly.
Yes.
No, the program is on Telegram. It's $27, easy peasy. It's I'm going to be doing an audio message ritual each morning and each night, and then giving journal prompts and things. And then the chat's just open for the 7 days so that we can talk back and forth about what's coming up as we release and what's coming up as we set new intentions for each day. And when I talk about intentions, it's really about setting an energetic intention. It's not saying, oh, I'm going to, make a certain amount of money this year. I'm going to be healthy this year. I'm going to, find a relationship. It's nothing tangible in that way, but it's vibrational, right? Yeah. So my vibrational word for this year is discipline, because for this exact reason that we're talking about, that I I'm very disciplined in my spiritual practices, but I want to be more disciplined with deepening them on the regular, right?
What does that look like?
So, for instance, I'll give you an example. Like, I meditate all the time, and my meditation has gone from guided meditations to frequency music to silent meditations. And so for me, it's carving what's happened over the past, I don't know, month or two, is opening up like 3 hours for meditation.
Nice.
And really allowing myself to sink deeper into the process, because let's be real, I have 3 children and a puppy and I run a business and my husband works. And so carving out 3 hours, and this came up because I was considering going to a silent retreat for a few days. And then I realized I was like, I can kind of do this at home, right? Like I can, if I'm going to carve out time and I'm going to be away for days, like I'd rather be home with my children, but then just do my own silent meditation retreat. You know what I mean? And just do that for myself. And so that's what I did. I deepened that for myself by deepening my meditative practices. And so it's opening more space is part of it, but it's also my favorite saying before I go live or go on my programs or anything came from an old mentor. And it's just praying to God and saying, may there be none of me and all of you. And so deepening that even more, like just truly viewing myself as just a vessel that God is moving energy and messages through. And so it's really putting my ego even more to the side and not looking at that preference and just saying, listen, if it's in my field, it's meant for me, and I accept it with grace and gratitude and appreciation, and just sinking deeper into surrender.
Yay. Yeah. I love that. Have you ever done the hollow bone work, which is like to be the pure channel like you want, that you imagine all the energy coming through you just like you're a hollow bone, and none of the ego or anything is touching it, that it's just flowing right through as it should be?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I haven't heard of that terminology, but I've done that same practice.
Okay.
But I like that terminology. That like gives me the feels. I like that.
Yeah.
Which is also funny because so I host retreats every year. And at my last retreat, the beach retreat that I did in August, I gave the girls as part of their, I always make like little goodie bags and stuff. And so one of the things that I gave them was a bamboo plant. And it was for that reason, because it's hollow on the end. And bamboo is so spiritual for that reason, because it allows us to really open ourselves to just receive whatever's like the bamboo plants, like the wind is moving through, but man, are they strong. You know, they're so strong and they might bend with the wind, but they'll come right back.
Yeah.
And so I just thought it was really beautiful. And so that was one of the things that I gave to them. And that's what it makes me think of when you talk about the hollow bone. It makes me think of the bamboo plant.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's way cool.
Yeah. So with the intention, so I'll talk about the intention for a few minutes in terms of how to hold them, right? Because like you were saying at the beginning, Rhonda, like we set these intentions, and I think we can set goals, like more tangible goals, but instead it's like picking a vibrational intention, because then you can continually bring yourself back to, is this assisting me with feeling more disciplined? Not becoming more disciplined, but feeling more disciplined. Is this supporting where I desire to go vibrationally this year, right? And so it allows you to just keep returning to that. And I think that people can get really caught up with how consistent they are with the intentions that they set. And I just want you to kind of define that for yourself, because some people can say, well, I set an intention, that means I check in once a month with it. Some people, it's going to be every day, you know? So I think it's just deciding what feels right for you, and then creating practices that go along with where you're already being devoted and consistent. So every single one of us is devoted and consistent with brushing our teeth, going to the bathroom, eating, sleeping. Like there's basic things that we do already just because we're humans that are already there. So it's bringing, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. I hate brushing my teeth. It pisses me off. I hate doing it. It irritates me. And so I started creating like little rituals. Like when I'm brushing my teeth, I'm reciting mantras.
Oh, nice.
Teeth, I'll put on frequency music. And I'll move my body with Qigong or something. You know what I mean? It's like, it's really bringing these things to assist you with that intention you've set, with that vibration, into what you're already doing, because that's where it's going to stick more, because you're already doing it and it's feeling more natural and more easeful rather than a chore that you have to go out of your way to make sure you do. Right. So that's just like a tangible one. But the other tangible, and I'll give you one more tangible, and then I'll go to like the more existential, which is really celebration, right? Celebration's huge. And I feel it so much as a vibe for this year too, which is just celebrating where you're already doing the things that, like, I'm already disciplined in a lot of areas. And so it's celebrating the hell out of myself in those areas as well, because that's the energy of momentum, right? That's going to keep you going. And so instead of being like, oh, I set this intention on January 1st and it's 3 weeks and I haven't done shit, right? Well, like, instead of focusing on that, where have you been consistent? Where have you devoted to yourself? What are the moments that you have felt into that vibe that you set for the year, right? And allow yourself to find those and honor those. So those are like the practical suggestions, but ultimately what this is really, we're habitual beings. And so that's why I bring up the consistency piece, because it's not going to stick if it's not something we've been practicing. And the best way to do that internally is to get really, really sincere about it. So it's like my intention of discipline. How important is that to me? If it's not that important to me, then I need to pick something else. So it's like getting really sincere and deepening your belief in the fact that setting this intention is exactly what you need, and it's going to bring you what it is you're looking for, right? And so it's deepening your belief in yourself to get there, in the universe to bring it to you, and really being devoted to how important this vibration is for you, and why are you setting that vibration? Like, what does it offer you? What is it going to bring into your life?
Oh, I love it.
That's gives lots of bones for thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your intention this year, Rhonda?
I'm going to recalibrate. I'm going to recalibrate myself. I think I'm going with a vibe of recalibration.
All right.
So just a reset, like a general reset, since I have a new body, basically part of me, that I have to reset everything internally. So I want to try to start reset things externally too.
So is this something that you mentally do, or is it more allowing it to take place?
Mentally and physically. So yeah, I think it's both,
Yeah, you're integrating like the human with the energetic and the spiritual is exactly what you're doing. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So and intentionally doing it, not just allowing it, intentionally doing it.
Okay.
See, that's what I love. And then I'm going to ask you what your intention is, Teresa. But yeah, that's what I love, is like that we can get really intentional and very, very sincere. And that's the last part here, is to then allow, right? Because some people can go into allowing and surrender and make it like spiritual bypassing, where they're just like, all right, I'm just going to lay back and wait for the universe to deliver it. But we're meant to co-create. We're meant to do things too.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to set that intention. I'm going to get really sincere about it. But then I'm also going to allow after that. Like, I'm not going to cling onto it with a desperate grip and fixate and obsess about getting this done, because that's in the mind. That's not a real devotion. That's an attachment, right? And what happens is that comes from self-doubt. We obsess and we fixate because we're afraid that we're not going to do it. So that's where the allowing allows that to relax. But
which goes to this card. I make way for miracles.
Oh,
right?
Brilliant.
Yeah. You gotta leave space for things to happen, not just say, oh, they're going to happen, but I make way. You're physically intending for it to happen in a way as well.
So Teresa, what's yours?
Okay, there's just a little story with it, and I'll be really fast. It started, I found that when it came to my depression, and I tried all the skills, tapping and everything to get rid of it and everything, I really found the truth is I needed to come to surrender. And usually I was actually underneath it all. When I came to surrender, I realized I was creatively constipated and I needed to get some of that energy flowing. And so I thought, well, heck, instead of waiting for a depression to happen, I want to set into surrender more. I just want to live in a state of surrender. So exactly what you're saying, as the year went on, I came to the point where, you know what, I need to have balance in my surrender, because just surrendering isn't really moving. There's no shape to it or anything, and I'm not getting the benefit of it. I need to move into, I guess, the divine masculine and start bringing some of these things forward and stuff. So this year, within the context of surrender, I'm learning balance this year. So that's my intention.
I'm obsessed with the fact that you said that, because I saw this, I think it was Farah Sadiq on Instagram, which if you don't follow her, you should. She's really great. But anyway, she had this image and it was of two overlapping circles, and one circle was discipline and one circle was surrender, and they overlap, and in the center is flow.
Oh.
And so that's what I said. I was like, yeah, my word is discipline, but I'm also surrendering, which means that technically I'm going for flow, right?
Because wow.
We need both. We need that support for our human and for our spiritual. And so I just thought that was really beautiful. And then once I set my discipline word, I thought of that image again, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm doing. So cool.
I love that. I love that. These images, I think they do wake up things within us. Mm-hmm. Not only the intention that whoever put it out, within itself, it's like little, not time bombs. What are they? Time capsules that are going off within us, right?
They are. And that's like our subconscious minds, they entirely communicate through symbols, through symbols and imagery and all of that. So anytime we use color or imagery or symbols, our subconscious is going to be like, oh, right there, it's going to get it.
Oh, so fun. I love it.
So you still think like journaling, writing out what your intentions are is a way to reinforce them? Is there anything else?
I think that, yes, you can write them out, but but the key is not to get attached to the outcome, right? And to instead, what's more important is to feel into the vibration of it. So as you're writing, it's not what you're writing that matters. It's how it makes you feel. Did this writing get me to feeling disciplined, to feeling surrendered, to feeling, whatever it is I'm looking for? Then that's the purpose, right? It's not to latch onto all of the analytical things that our minds come up with.
I love that.
So, Laura, we have, I don't know if we didn't quiz you, but have you got a theme song for this week that you've been listening to? Like something that...
Oh, yeah, a frequency or something.
Frequency or something that's been helping you this week?
Guys, my favorite one ever, I'm going to look at the name of it. I've been playing it on loop lately. It's on my sound healing playlist. Oh my gosh. I have so many playlists. I'm so proud of myself because I had posted something about my 2022 Spotify playlist. And one of my old clients was like, oh, can I see it? And I was like, oh, it's got an interesting mix. I'm not sure you want to have access to all of that. And it was brilliant because what I did was I organized all of my playlists. I have spiritual activation, I have sound healing, and then I posted them all on my Facebook group so that people can access them. And my chanting playlist, I'm so excited and proud, and I feel very organized. But to answer your question, I would have to say it's The Embrace by Ashana.
The Embrace by Ashana.
And I love her. Do you follow her? Do you listen to her?
No.
Shana?
Ashana. She's absolute pure magic. She plays her singing bowls while she sings.
Oh.
And, what's so cool is that I first found this song because it's called The Embrace, because my retreat in May that I hold is called the Embrace Retreat. And so I was like, oh, I have to listen to this because it's the name of my retreat. Let's see if it's like the theme of my retreat. And man, it just soothes me to my core. And I just love it. So I listen to it all the time.
By Ashana. I got it. I found it.
That's a sound healing one. But then I also like to listen to Unstoppable. That's a good empowerment one.
Unstoppable. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a really good one. Who's that by? Is that by Sia? Yeah, it is.
By who?
Yeah. By Sia, SIA. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Those are my songs.
Cool. Okay. Do you like any crystals for healing right now?
Yeah, I'm sitting here with my angelite right now. But what have I been snuggling with lately? I've been snuggling with my giant smoky quartz with black tourmaline on the bottom. That's been nice and grounding. And I just got this carnelian and larimar necklace. So I have been wearing this. This is like
Beautiful.
Oh, I love this mala so much. I'm loving it. This was what I got for myself for Christmas.
Fire and water energy, both.
Oh, it's so good. So, yeah, I've been wearing a lot of malas lately just to kind of layer them with the energy that I'm looking for. But I would have to say Sugilite is probably my favorite stone lately.
Sugilite. What color is that? I'm trying to think.
Like a deep purple.
They're dark.
Really good
Yeah.
Yeah. I have like a mala and a necklace with Sugilite, and I just that's what I need right now. So I'm just yumming it up.
And that's what I found when in my crystal healing classes, wherever the chakra is being, like, if you think it's being attacked, or like if you're having problems with that chakra, is to put the opposite on the color wheel on it to charge it back up again. So say it's your pelvis, which would be orange, you put a blue stone or a dark purple stone on it. So yeah, that makes total sense. So,
which is hilarious because I intentionally put on blue socks last night before I went to bed. For that reason.
Okay. You're talking to the choir. So yeah.
I was like, I'm calling it for 2023.
Everything will be fine. I'm not going to be pissed off anymore. Yeah. That's what I always say. So that's awesome. Oh, so last question. Have you seen any UFOs lately? Because you're in this.
I haven't, but my partner in my company, Daisy, she's a medium, and she has seen some, I think it was like a month ago. And she's like, I have never seen them as clearly as I saw them. Her husband saw them too. Like both of them were like, pull over. Like they were driving. Like, oh my gosh. And it was wild. So that wasn't that long ago. It was only a handful of weeks ago. So
in New York. Cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. They always seem, they must like me.
I think we should get Daisy on the show.
You absolutely should have Daisy on.
Don't we?
She's amazing. Yeah, because she came from she can talk about, what's so good about her is that she's the one who will go to those places that are really dark that people avoid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dark light warriors.
Yeah, 100%. She's like such a good shadow worker that way. And it always brings this sense of so much like purity and healing and love with it. And it's funny, she's a medium, but she's really a healing medium because there's always healing coming through. I mean, not that there usually isn't, but
like a rescue medium.
She's a really beautiful person. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait. Hey Gina, happy New Year.
Oh, good. There's Gina. Gina just came in time. So Teresa, you have one other thing.
I have
some piece of business for today. You were going to announce the winner.
Oh, heck yeah. And you said it. M. Matthews is the winner. No? Yes?
Yeah.
No? Yes?
So, yeah, I was trying to remember it. And I was hoping I got the last name right? It is. M-E-M, like Emily, or M. Matthews.
Yeah,
sorry. So we're going to be trying to track you down. And thank you for commenting and being a part of our Spirit Sessions family.
So besides your retreat and your program that's coming up starting tomorrow, did you say? Or
yeah, that's just a brief one. It's just a 7-day one that starts tomorrow.
And what other workshops have you got going on in the next?
Well, guess what I'm doing? I'm so excited. I'm doing in-person Akashic healing in the Salt Cave. I'm so excited.
Oh, neat.
Where's that?
That'll be fun.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm doing 2. I'm doing one on the 21st. That one's not in the Salt Cave. It's just at the Healing Center. I'm doing a workshop with a Kundalini healer, and that's going to be for intentions actually for 2023. And then the 25th, I'm just doing Akashic healing in a cave. So those are just like fun little things that I'm doing that I'm just excited about. And then I also have my Vitality program that starts on the 19th. That's an 8-week program. That's like a bigger program. And honestly, I created that one for myself initially because it's really all about consistency in your spiritual practices. It's like a spiritual gym, So like
you're a trainer.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like 3 to 5 times a week, I'm going to be going live in the Facebook group with whatever intuitively comes forward. It could be Qigong, it could be cards, it could be chanting, it could be meditation, it could be tapping, but like whatever's aligned based on the group's energy. And then they get 4 one-on-ones, and then we do just like 2 group calls just to build momentum over the course of it. But it's really all about what I was talking about earlier with really getting to intimately know your energy, because I'm so tired of like, this is the way to do it, and I wanted this to be more personal, which is why I have the one-on-ones where you get to do it your way. Let's figure out your way. I want you to know your way and be so confident about your way that when people come and they say, "Ooh, you're feeling that, you need to go do this," be like, "No, that's not my way. That's not going to work for me." And that you're more confident in that, right? And so you can take care of yourself. So, so that I'm just so excited about all of it, honestly, because I'm so deeply invested in it myself as well. It's so good for all of us.
Yeah, it gets you back to the spiritual gym. So
yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah,
I love that.
It's a great program. Thank you so much for being on today, and we only wish you the best for 2023. I'm sure it's going to be a better year than even last year was. So everything else is, coming on great, and I hope your kids are all doing well, and your husband sounds like he's a treasure too. So keep receiving and doing well.
Thank you. And I'm sending you guys
We
so
love
much
you.
love for a beautiful new year and continued healing for you, Rhonda.
Thank you. I will. And I really appreciate all you guys. And we'll be back on next week. Katie Steinley should be here to give us a little human design forecast for 2023.
Yay.
And so you won't want to miss that. So really appreciate it. And thank you so much. And we'll hope to see you soon in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.